knowledge on insurance innovation, digital disruptions, and entrepreneurship. Our website, insurtechstory.com, and we are available on Spotify, Apple, Google, Audible, and Amazon Music. Today, we will discuss on the topic digital revolution in insurance, tech, privacy, and beyond. And for now, I'm delighted to welcome our guest, Rohit Killam, who is the Chief Technology Officer, or in short, CTO at HDFC Life. Rohit at HDFC Life spearheads digital transformation and innovation efforts. And with over 25 years of experience in technology leadership across Europe, India, and ASEAN, he has collaborated with various technology giants and financial firms. His expertise lies in developing and managing state of the art fintech products and platforms utilizing cloud, open source, AI, and IoT technologies. Besides, Rohit has successfully overseen the development of products for various payment channels, wealth platforms, card personalization, and digital lending and collections. Additionally, he serves as an advisor and investor, supporting and mentoring startups in deep tech and fintech. So, Rohit, a warm welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much, Surya, for calling me in. Pleasure to be on this platform.
Thank you so much, Rohit, for for your time, especially of course, on a weekday you must be busy during the evenings too. But thanks for joining in, Rohit. Just to jump on to the agenda for the day. Uh, my first question is, how is technology reshaping the landscape of the insurance industry, and what are the key challenges and opportunities for insurers in adopting emerging tech? So, of course, we do understand, how the fintech is revolutionizing the financial services industry in India and especially in insurance. But something specific, if you can touch upon specific, which is more to do with the Indian market and their consumers and so on and so forth.
Sure, I think fintech in India um, has really grown leaps and bounds. We are at the cutting edge in terms of specific payments, and now also in lending. Insurance is at the cusp of growth in that sense in India. We are going to grow at much higher percentages than the other markets across the world. And what we will see is, and as our industry and market platforms grow, we will see newer products, we will see higher penetration, we will see more uh, insured value as such, and also we will see a better buying and servicing experience for insurance going forward. That's the lay of the land in what we will see in near future. What that specifically means is for the insurance players in India is that the customer will be at the core of the entire insurance ecosystem. Unfortunately, the policy was earlier. We
Right.
always had a policy, and the customer had to go and buy the policy. Now the customer will be at the core. And when I talk about customer being at the core of the entire platform, we're looking at a couple of key initiatives that need to be looked at. One is data democratization that needs to happen across the insurance value chain, right? So that the data is more discoverable, accessible, and it is very specifically we are able to come out of the operational bottlenecks and enable faster decision making and able to utilize the specific technologies which are available for the customer data. That will really help the customer. The entire buying and servicing process has to become much simpler going forward. And I think Bima Sugam, which was recently announced by the regulators, is an extremely good initiative from that standpoint. We will look at newer initiatives in buying process with data getting persistent across the systems which are available. The availability of the digital infrastructure which is there, the KYC stacks, for example, have led to the buying process getting simpler. The third part of it is the platform and the ecosystem play, which has to get into it. Now, the platform and the ecosystem is, instead of pulling the customer to to your shop, if I may use that word shop, we need to be available where the customer is, on the ecosystem where the customer is, and for that we have to leverage the APIs going forward. And the approach to build API first products has to build it. So those are the technology perspectives of the growth in insurance industry that we are looking at.
Right. Rohit, you very categorically mentioned on data democratization, right? So just for the benefit of our listeners, just wanted to understand that why do we really need to democratize data? And what, as in like from the benefit side or the FX side, what exactly is the need?
So, when we talk about data democratization, there are three specific perspectives to it. One is the supplier, the second is the consumer, third is the privacy aspect of it.
Right,
So, when we say supplier, we should be looking at a system where the data catalogs are published, available, and we understand and know all the elements which are possible in about the data that we are looking at, right? The
right,
When we talk about that, we're looking at a knowledge graph, and a knowledge graph is will capture data in its 360 degrees. That means the policy, the customer, and the relationships across the nominees. The entire knowledge graph about the entity is created on top of it, and then we, based on that, you create a metadata layer for the consumer to look at it. So that's the
right,
consumer side of it. And the consumer could, and when I talk about data democratization and especially data catalogs, that will help the entire ecosystem to manufacture hyper personalized products for the customers. It's not one shirt fits all approach,
yeah,
specifically in the insurance products that we're looking at. We have protection, we have life as such, we'll have retirement, we'll have hybrid products going forward as we look at more and more product innovation to look at. And to enable that, it is can be happen only through the three pillars of data democratization that I spoke about.
right. Yeah, absolutely. I think we do use various terms to understand various concepts in when it comes to emerging tech, right? So so I was really curious that to break it down and make it more easier for the listeners, that what exactly is the need of data democratization. And you also mentioned a very critical aspect of privacy when you really divide it in three parts, right? So coming to that, why is data privacy crucial in the digital transformation journey of insurance? Of course, you have answered quite a bit on that. And how do insurers navigate the delicate balance between utilizing customer data for personalized services and safeguarding privacy? What is your take on that?
So I think with the development of the internet ecosystem, and thanks to a lot of data which is being thrown into the ecosystem by players. For example, a simple act of ordering your food online, you could be giving your data to six principal authorities. Have you, first of all, authorized all six to have your data?
Right,
One. Number two, how they are using it. Number three, till when they can use it. That's the angle around privacy that we need to be very careful about when we are building products, specifically which are so much dependent on data that we are looking at. We can't be pulling unauthorized sources of data across. And the problem that we are struggling with as a market economy is around the data being proliferated across multiple unauthorized sources in and people using it and trying to create products and trying to create campaigns on top of those products which are actually harmful for genuine customers from that standpoint. So that is why I said data privacy is extremely important,
Yeah,
and data
yeah,
privacy is has two clear legs to look at. If one is around data consent. When we take data, we have to have a proper consent for the customer. And when we take about consent, the consent has to be for a specific purpose, for a specific customer, for a specific time that we need the consent for. So that is the
right,
consent layer that you need to build on top of when you're looking at the same example, staying with the same example of ordering food online. Have you consented to give your data to all six parties? For example, there's a payment gateway, there is a restaurant, there's a food ordering an app in between. Have we consented to give the data online to them? The second part of privacy is the right to forget, and which is extremely important. How do we mandate right to forget in with for the data that we have? If my customer, who's no longer my customer, or for any reason a lead wants to come back and say, "Hey, I don't want to be in your database," I should be able to give him that option to delete his data from there. So that is the other part of data privacy. Now, I know this looks this is like a dichotomy of a situation where you are once looking at a proliferation of data and using it to penetrate more and more into the market, but the poisoning into the market with this illicit data harms us more than it can help in terms of creating useful penetration into the market going forward.
right, right.
All right.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's from a data privacy standpoint that we look at. And obviously, there is which we all take care of is the data security side of it, which is a given from our standpoint.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Talking about technology, and when we really try to go beyond whatever advancement we are seeing, what are the multifaceted factors influencing digital transformation in insurance? That perhaps may include the regulatory frameworks, industry standards, or even the integration of innovative risk management strategies and even the product development side, which is customer centric in nature.
So there specifically, if I have to look at from a digital transformation standpoint and keeping the customer in the center of it, there are four parts to it, and then they're enabling technologies to help it. The first is obviously on the acquisition side of it, where we need to hyper personalized and we need to predict propensities for that. The second is around servicing, and more and more is being done by artificial intelligence based bots and increasing your straight through processing, specifically from a servicing standpoint. The third is around relationship expansion with the
Right,
existing customer. What can you do? Can you give a next best offer? Or how do you enable your existing partners to expand the relationship with the customer? Can I look at the customer's entire lifetime value of needs from a financial standpoint? He may need an insurance for life right now. Tomorrow, he may need it for investment. Maybe after some time, he would need it for retirement. And in between, he has a touch point for health insurance. And how do I enable an ecosystem around this? So that's the relationship expansion around it and the ecosystem approach that needs to be looked at. Lastly, the persistency is extremely important. The early warning systems for attrition and the proactive nudges that we need to look at. from a digital standpoint. These are the four areas. The enabling technologies for this are uh, obviously, we are looking at Gen AI very, very closely, um, to build very commercial use cases for Gen AI to enable these four areas that we spoke about. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, Gen AI is something that um, it has gone beyond the boardroom topic, and people are really looking for lots of POCs and used cases to see how it can improve the bottom line and of course its customer experiences. And you have touched upon the various multifaceted factors too. But do you also would like to mention anything on how important would an improved skill set be for an enterprise digital transformation drive?
Yeah, so I think that's the uh, you cannot build anything unless you have the muscle to build it. So
Right.
skills are extremely important, but the way we have to approach skills is very different to the way that it used to be earlier in probably internet era of early 2000s or 2010s also, right? So from a skill standpoint, we will see the earlier approach of industrial training will not hold in the AI era as we move forward, right?
Right.
The uh, the the skill development has become very, very, should I say, there is micro learning based skill development moving forward and need based skill development that needs to be done going forward. If I'm working on a specific problem for customer service with a regulated industry, I need to know the regulations, I need to know the customer service technologies available to me, and I also need to know the existing organizational context to be available to me.
Right.
So the based learning has to be very micro focused, is the first point. Second, it has to uh, there is no one standard approach to learning which will hold you till for the next decade or next 15 years, like earlier it used to happen in industrial era. We'll have to have multiple smaller threads of learning happening probably every year or every 2 years going forward. In tech, 3 years is a generation. So probably twice in one generation you will have to multi-skill yourself to be relevant for this. So that is the
Right.
second part of it. The third part of it, from a skill standpoint, which is extremely important, is we do not need to learn the repetitive task skills any longer, because those are pieces which have been taken up by bots. In future, we will have a team in which there will be three bots and two humans. That's where the future is going to be. So repetitive tasks learning needs to be out of the bucket. Focus has to be more on creative problem solving, and focus has to be on creating better algorithms either, or the focus has to be on the context specific learning that needs to be done. So that's the difference in the skills adaptability or learning in digital transformation in the AI world versus the previous era.
Absolutely. I think you have mentioned a very, very valid point, which is on creative problem solving. And it really touches upon, the areas broadly, if I can bring it up, it's innovation, adaptability, collaboration, even engagement, and managing risk effectively. I think very, very important point, Rohit, that you have mentioned as a key driver for a successful digital transformation in insurance, particularly to innovate, adopt, and of course deliver value to the end users and important stakeholders. With that, Rohit, a fantastic discussion, and thank you for sharing your thoughts today. I really love the way you have broken down each aspects of the questions for the ease of understanding for the listeners. A true delight to have you as our guest.
Thank you, Surya. Pleasure to have you with me talking about this. These are close discussions which we are all passionate about. and we are building the
Absolutely.
generation forward for this. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And lastly, to wrap this up, you are listening to the Insurtech Story podcast, and see you at our next episode. Till then, take care and stay safe. Goodbye for now.